Welcome back to another amazing show. This is the Real Estate Marketing Roundtable. We got some incredible stuff we're going to be talking about. We're talking about lead generation. We're going to talk about how to make more money in your life, ladies and gentlemen. Before I bring my incredible co-host in, here is our countdown. Guys, we've got such a good show today. It is going to be absolutely incredible. These guys are going to drop hammer. I'm kind of going to shut up because I haven't felt well for the last couple of days. We've been talking about COVID. We've been talking about life. We've been talking about kids and, spouses, fighting, just general life, right? The bullshit that goes on in life. But what we're not going to talk about is how not to get leads. We're going to talk about how to get leads. So, Mr. Nick Sackis, Mr. Jake Wolf, Mr. Gene Volpe. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. How are you?
Hello.
I think Gene is still
Gene,
polishing
who
off
does
his
not
salad.
want to answer my call. Okay. Well, he can go.
Dude,
fuck himself.
listen. Listen to me. A shout out to the Fabios in media, bro. That I'm telling you what, I couldn't put if you would have said to me, stop eating that salad because we're going live or you're fired, I would have said, toodaloo, motherfucker. That's how good that salad was. That's how good that salad was.
Okay, now you're making me hungry. I'm going to get burritos in an hour, but that is awesome.
I had an exceptional breakfast this morning. I went out to Bob Evans for all of our Bob Evans folks out there.
Underrated. I'm going to say Bob Evans is underrated. They got some really good sausage, gravy, and biscuits.
I had this bowl called Everything Breakfast, ladies and gentlemen, and it was everything for breakfast this morning. It was awesome.
Okay, so that's actually a great lead-in, Jake.
Wait, hold on.
Well,
it's a better lead-in.
Can I see?
No, I got to drop this on you. No. I just want to point out that this is going to be the best thing we say on the whole show. I just want to point out that Sarge said he had sausage today, and Greg, I know how much you love sausage. Okay, go ahead. That's all I got.
Well, I'm not going to even say anything about that right now. Actually, I really don't like sausage at all. Like, I literally disdain sausage. But anyways, let's talk about this. Let's talk about lead generation and kind of how you're going to jump into your business in 2022, kind of unlimited content creation opportunities. A lot of the folks that I'm listening to and watching, their biggest problem is the fact that they cannot find anything to talk about, when in reality, there's a ton of opportunities. So, Nick, break it down for us. I'm going to go Nick, Jake, Gene, just because, Gene, you talked last, so you get to talk last again. Where and Gene gets up and walks away. He literally got up and walked away. Nick, for you, where would you get some content creation ideas?
So first thing I want to say is so that is always an objection, right? We hear that a lot. Like, I don't know what to say. So the funny part about that to me is it's almost like our listing presentation, when we go on a listing presentation, it's more of an asking questions kind of thing. So when I talk to an agent, it's almost like being on a listing, appointment. When they say, I don't know what to say. Well, why don't you know what to say? Well, I just don't, I don't really want to look foolish, or I don't have enough experience. Well, why do you think that, right? You keep drilling down to the actual reason of why, or what the actual problem actually is. And to me, 9 times out of 10, the problem is not necessarily, I don't know what to talk about. It's, I don't know how to be myself on camera. And so, like, almost every single time, almost the number one issue, and if you have an issue with creating content or being on camera, on Zoom or whatever, it's because you're trying to put this perception or persona, or you're trying to be this person that you're not in real life. So like literally one of my best tips that I can ever tell anybody is once you realize that creating content is all about just being yourself and what you would say to somebody one-on-one or on a phone call or through an email is what you say on video, and you don't have to be wearing a suit and being in the perfect situation and putting up this persona of like the perfect real estate agent or the perfect business owner, because we're not perfect. And so when you get yourself all worked up into like, I can't make this video because I don't have an awesome background, I don't have a great camera, I don't have an awesome microphone. Like, we live in a world of forgiveness when it comes to social media. People understand most content comes from your cell phone, so you have a lot of leeway, right? Just make a conscious effort to let the nervousness, let the fear go of trying to present yourself in a way or a person that you aren't in real life, because once you can just document your life as your real person on video, then the content creation just sparks, because you realize, like Gene says this all the time, like you can create content out of nowhere just by walking through your daily activities or reading an email and seeing what people are asking you.
I think someone's getting murdered outside my house right now. That's not a joke.
Oh.
Can you put your camera on it? Let's get a live reporting.
That was like the worst scream I've heard in a long time. Like, it was like, ah, ah, ah. I'm like,
did you go check it out? Do you think? Maybe you should go check it out.
Fuck, it's a big city. You know, I'm not gonna be able to find him anyways.
I just caught a cramp walking upstairs.
Yeah, you know what? They got themselves in a situation. It's not my problem. I love that idea. Asking questions is a huge thing for a lot of times for content creation. You can go into your email and look at your last 5 emails from clients or friends or anything else, and look at the questions they're asking you, and do videos off of that stuff. Jake, where would you take this one on video and content creation for social media and everything else?
I'm a big fan of my calendar, right? So sit down, have your favorite glass of tea, scotch, or wine, and put it on the calendar. What are the topics that I'm going to be needing to speak about? There's a lot of things in the real estate side that are tips, motivation. We're talking news, hyperlocal events, new construction. There's just a whole variety of topics, and then you guys can go ahead and fill in the blank. You know, I was working with an agent here a couple weeks ago, and this same kind of topic was coming up. They went ahead and did a 1-hour coaching call with me, but they're in a position now where it's like, okay, I'm going to shoot a whole bunch of video sets, make shorts, and run through my calendar, just hit on all of these different topics, get it all done, and then schedule it into circulation so that it goes out there. And one of the big focuses for that agent is obviously the TikTok side of the space, but a lot of tips, a lot of cool tricks, a lot of stories of examples of things that have happened in the past. Those are always really good pieces, but content is so important. And when you have a unique selling proposition, most of you guys heard this already, that content becomes a vessel that carries out you, your brand, and your unique selling proposition. So it's vitally important. Everybody else is doing it and needs to do it at a higher level to go ahead and stay omnipresent with their brand. But there's so much out there, guys. You just got to sit down and pick a topic and fill in the blanks, really. So
yeah, I think it's a really good point there, Jake. And back to Nick really quickly. I mean, I think being authentically real to yourself and really kind of being who you are. Like yesterday, I came back from a dog park walk, and I don't know what happened to my life, but all of a sudden I became extremely nauseous. Like I don't get nauseous. I mean, I just don't. And I got incredibly nauseous, got weak, got shaky. I felt like crap. I sat there and I couldn't breathe. And I was like, what the fuck is going on in my life? And I posted a story. My dog could sense something was wrong with me. And he kind of laid his head and his whole body on me, just kind of trying to console me. And I posted on social media. I'm like, I'm feeling like shit. My dog knows what's up. You know, does your dog do this? And people lit me up on social media on back-end messages. So I think it's incredibly powerful to be real 100%, to your point, Jake, as well. Gene, where would you take this and how would you cut that kind of content up so that more people could see the real, authentic you, not the bullshit, I drive a Lamborghini, have a big house, have a plane, have a helicopter, go fuck off. How can you relate with
if you have that, that's okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, what?
But,
I do have a
yeah.
Lamborghini and a plane. I can't show people. I agree.
No. Fuck off, both of you guys. You guys know what I'm saying. The fake bullshit. If you actually have it, flaunt it. You own it. That's yours. But if you're just trying to rent it for a day and then you make videos off it, no. That's a fake. That's fake content, aka fake news.
Unless you say,
so
I just rented
content.
this. I just rented the hell out of this Lambo and watched me burn out in the middle of Los Angeles.
Or I'm standing next to some dude's Lambo on the main boulevard here and taking a picture as if it were my own.
That is a valid point, gentlemen. I think that a lot of people should do that. If you're going to be in front of a helicopter or an airplane or a Lambo or a Ferrari or whatever else, you're like, yo, I don't own this shit. And I don't know who owns it, but I'm in front of it right now, or I rented it, or I leased it, or whatever else. That's authentic being you. And then people are like, oh, okay. Because there's a couple of individuals that I know that have leased major big properties and, leased, very expensive vehicles, and they pretend they own them. And it was the wrong persona. But anyways, Gene, back to you, my friend. How would you chop this up? Where would you go with it?
So for me, I think the first thing I would probably do is go back to last Sunday, the 1:00 game, and probably chop out the last 4.5 minutes where the Rams kicked that field goal right before the game ended to beat Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I just had to throw that out there. Listen, I had to throw that out there because I know we opened the show last week with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and how great they were. And they were really, really good up until the end of that game, and now they're golfing.
They were not good that game. They were terrible that game. They looked like the Eagles that game.
Yeah, that's true. Rams,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 13 seconds. What? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for me, here's the one thing I like to talk about all the time because I think this is so simple to do. And this goes for videos and for like blogging or even social media management, right? Like with social media content distribution. So if you know what the term curation means, in our world, curation is me stealing somebody else's stuff and putting my spin on it. So whether that's a video that I do about it or I'll give you an example. I was listening to, and actually, if you guys haven't seen this yet, I highly recommend it. Now, I'm only 40 minutes into it, but one of the latest Rogan exercises has this. I got to look it up. Number 1768. One episode. What did I say? Exercises? Did I say exercises?
Yes, you did.
I did, right? That's weird. I'm thinking about my 345.
Hey, Gene. I think we got hacked. Look at this. I think we got hacked.
Yes.
Someone's trying out there.
We got hacked. Greg, I'm sorry. I shared that to my other account by accident. No. So here's what it is. I said exercises. I meant, and you can't really see it there, I meant episodes. I'm thinking about my 345 gym sesh today. But episode number 1768 with Dr. Robert Epstein. Really good stuff. My wife sent it to me. I thought it was
Did
something
you
about
say
COVID.
Epstein?
Yeah, not that Epstein, though.
Oh, okay.
But I thought it was something. My wife sent it to me, and we've been firing back COVID things and all this stuff, vaccination information, all that. So when I saw Dr. Robert, I was like, that must be what it is. Well, it turns out this dude's some kind of internet code geek, and he was breaking down Google. And there was a lot of things in the first 40 minutes. Like this is an internet marketer's. You got to listen to it. It's crazy. And he was talking about how Google controls a lot of. Something in 2012, they shut down the whole internet. And Rogan was asking him, like, how does that happen? And he goes, even if you use DuckDuckGo is pretty much doing a web crawl and going to Google to see if there's any sites that are blacklisted that they shouldn't put on their search. Well, Google had done something goofy that blacklisted just about every site on the internet. So you couldn't get to the internet from pretty much anywhere except South Korea and China because Google's not there and they govern their own internet, right? You can look into it. But so for me, I was like in the car and I'm like, wow, like the power that Google has. And this is a little bit deep probably and a little bit conspiratorial, but that's okay. In my world.
Oh, no, bring it.
Yeah, no, I know you love it. I know how much you love it. And I do too, because really this is really how everything works today. And you really should know it because this is how you're getting your information. So you should know the inner workings of how this stuff works, who controls what. There's biases behind it. There's a lot of stuff, right? But what's to stop me from writing a blog about the way I felt about that? Like when I heard it, I was like, I got to do a video on this and explain this to people so they understand how this works. So curation is me taking the content that they talked about, pulling it out in a little snippet, and then giving my spin on it, right? So whether I share that post on Facebook and it's a link to the Spotify episode, and I just put above it, hey, listen to this episode today. You really need to get a handle on your phones that are listening to you. Boom, boom, boom. Here's my take. It only needs to be 100, 200, 300 words, or it could be a short 1-minute video clip. Something like that, I could spin 1,000 times on the internet. So when I say the word curation to you, what I'm saying to you is there's enough news out there that you can put your spin on it and give you content for weeks and weeks and weeks. And when that content runs out, tomorrow you're going to have more content for weeks and weeks and weeks. So pick an expertise or something that you have expertise in your area and put your own spin on the content. And again, do the video first. Maybe it's a podcast. Throw it up on your social media with a little bit of text in it and some hashtags. Do all that stuff. There you go. There's Nick's throwing out there an excellent book on how media. Nick, what is it? Trust Me, I'm Lying.
It's called Trust Me, I'm Lying. It's an awesome book. Probably, I don't know when, maybe 5 years ago, 2012. Awesome book about marketing and manipulation of marketing to the masses. Kind of right around when social media was really peaking. But if you have any interest in how things are spun, like just from what Gene was saying, right? Headline captures. This guy took a brand called American Apparel and took it to like $1 bazillion basically on manipulation.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it's a really good book. And it's on Audible, so if you want to listen to it, highly recommend that one along these same lines of conversation, right?
Yeah. So
I love that. I mean, that's awesome.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead,
I've heard.
I'm sorry.
I've heard of that book before, and I just wanted to tie it back. Like the curation is what we were talking about there. There's a lot of content in your thoughts, right? The stuff that you think about how you what your spin is on a certain take somewhere or some news article is something that you can use ad nauseum and for the rest of your life.
Well, you can also do a lot of other things,
right?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was just saying,
no, not at all. It is the point of the show, and Nick, I want you to jump on that.
Which is like everybody has a lens, a specific lens on how they see the world, right? You put 100 people in a room with the same presentation, everybody hears something a little bit different. And the cool thing about like our show, right? The REU Nation, the people that listen to us, there's people that come on for 5 minutes and say, F these guys, I'm never listening to them again. They're not worth my time. And there's other listeners that listen to our entire show and take everything in and love us to death because their lens of the world, the way that we curate the content, they agree with. And so that's the power of like this curation of things and your take, your specific kind of input on what's going on around you. That's how you build a real brand. That's how you get people to be magnetically drawn to you because you're going to reach people that have the same lens as you. And when you can do that, we talk about that all the time, is saying like, that's how you draw people into your world. So yes, it could be with blogging. It could be with audio, with podcasts, right? If you're Matt Johnson, it could be, a video podcast, whatever your flavor is, but it's that taking in of content, looking at it through your lens, and then giving your unique perspective is so powerful for 2022 and beyond.
I want to say something real quick, Nick, because there's one thing in there that you said that I kind of want to put a spin on real quick, because you said that people listen to and that they agree with. They don't necessarily have to agree with it, right? If you have, and I know you didn't, I know you were just kind of rolling. It's for me, I actually like, I'll watch Bill Maher. I watch Bill Maher on HBO. My wife is like, why do you watch the show? All you do is scream at it. I pretty much disagree with just about everything he says, but that back and forth in my mind, like what my argument against what he's saying or a guest he has, I like that. That stimulates me. I can walk away from a conversation and say, I don't agree with you, Nick, but I still love you, right? I like something that's thought-provoking, and if you deliver a decent message and your argument is professional and it sounds like it was thought through, it doesn't matter if I agree with you or not. It's to me something that makes me think, keeps me interested, and keeps me coming back for a little bit more because it's got my adrenaline pumping.
That's actually a good point. I mean, there's a guy that if you go to YouTube and you watch a show, it's called Timcast, and I've talked about it before. And Jake, I want to get your points on this. He rides both the left and the right side of politics, but he takes articles and he disseminates them into his own thought pattern. I think a lot of the times when you want to, when you're looking for content, you're like, oh, I have to talk about the market updates. I got to talk about this, that, or another thing on a consistent basis. When in reality, why don't you become a newscaster of content? So go to Pinterest, go to your local, websites, talk about pets, talk about, political stuff, but don't have an opinion, just report the news. And I'm not saying political in like Democrats, Republicans, independents, and everything else. I'm talking about, what about the politics in real estate? I mean, what about Zillow? What about Trulio? What's happening here? What about Open Door? Give me some thoughts on this. You don't have to be an expert on it, but you just need to get the content out there. The people will come to you, but you have to be persistent and consistent. Two different words, ladies and gentlemen, in regards to content creation. So set a schedule that's going to work for you. Is it going to be 1 time a day, 3 times a day, 1 time a week, 1 time a month, whatever it's going to be? Set a schedule, because your audience is going to wait and want to listen to what you have to say once you build your tribe. Jake, how would you take that and then push that out to the metaverse where everybody's going to be sitting there going like, oh my God, what is Jake Wolf going to say next?
I think the biggest thing here is like a schedule, right? So most people have this hesitancy of getting into the video side or make excuses on, I don't have anything to talk about. There's so much to go ahead and talk about. If you jump into the DIY type things of the world, you can share some cool do-it-yourself type stuff. Get out with some other people and have conversations with them, their companies, do some interviews, do some joint work together. There is just so much consistent content that can be created. So you have to start, right? And that's the biggest thing. You have to make a plan and you have to start. And if you do sit down and write out a schedule and have a calendar and even just start with one piece of content a week and go through the process, go through the actions, and then start doing this as a business muscle workout every single week and hold yourself accountable. That's going to be the biggest thing, guys. But there's platforms such as TikTok right now where your competitors are on there sharing short videos, and sometimes they're not even talking in these videos. Sometimes they just have the comment overlays on these videos and they're pointing at themselves or they're walking. So, but still they're putting out content, their brand's out there, they're getting the message across even without having to speak. So, there's a lot of ways you can go at this, but I think you being an ambassador of education and knowledge in your local marketplace is vitally important, right? So if people are picking up good tips and tricks or good restaurants or hyper local events and news and press-worthy things and new construction and DIY projects, and if you're just out there creating some short content on things, folks are going to look at you as the educational ambassador of your craft, and they're going to think of you when the time comes that they need some type of service in real estate, and that's vitally important. And then mix it in with some testimonials. Like I seen Tony here the other day on Facebook. He had some awesome testimonials from some clients. That was just fantastic. I think those are the things that people should be thinking about. I would highly suggest you go back and talk to all of your past customers and ask them if they could hook you up with a quick little video testimonial as well. For those of you folks that haven't captured, that's content that's necessary and vitally important. But start a schedule and start doing your business push-ups, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, you really do. And it's and when it comes down to content creation, like Tony was talking about, all of you guys that are watching, listening, not watching, he's talking about going to your local city hall and they have a free newsletter, which is totally true. With great content, you can go to your local business bureau and get lists of businesses and interview folks like that. Alyssa, who is on TikTok, back to Jake's point, she has a site called Color My Credit. And this chick, this is no joke. It's a year and a half in. She has 458,700 followers with 4.3 million likes. And she's doing silly videos. That she's doing her own content creation, and content's all around you. Life is a book. Every part of your life is a chapter. Like right now, this show is a chapter in all 4 of our days. So we're going to spend an hour doing this, and then we're going to go do something else, and then we're going to go do something else, and we're going to go do something else. You have to you decide on what you want to share and how much you want to share, but then continuously do it. Gene, you look like you're about ready to eat that microphone. What's going on?
No, nothing. I'm
Think
just
about that
listening.
salad.
Bite my tongue. Just bite my tongue.
Oh, really? Okay. All right, shit talker. What you got?
No. I'm actually coming with the heat today, so hopefully you are all paying attention.
It's all about the salad, baby.
That's right. No, I like what Jake was saying. I really do like what Jake was saying about the calendar. I promote it. I'm one of those do as I say, not as I do guys. I'm terrible with the calendar for myself, but for clients, and I just wanted to add this because this is a cool tool. We have this, we use Trello, right? And this is pretty new to me. I have never really done this except for over the last year for my clients, but it's really neat. So we'll create the content and throw it into a board on Trello, and we can share that board with our clients, and they can delete, edit, change dates, do whatever, and they can see what has gone out this week, what's scheduled to go out next week, what has gone out in the past, and we can archive everything, and there's notes. So like if you have a service that you use, let's say, see if you can work with them together through Trello. It's been great from a scheduling perspective. And it's like a weight lifted off my shoulders as an agency owner, because when somebody calls me and goes, what went out yesterday? And I go, whatever the hell you approved. Like, you probably know better than I do, right? So I really like this little thing, and it's a nice way for you to schedule out your content, share it with a bunch of people. And it's, in most cases, it's free, and you can get the template. There's like social media calendar templates that you can import into it and start using. So Jake, I really like that idea.
Jake, very good idea. Very good content. Nick, how would you work with that a little bit?
I was kind of going into thinking about a different direction, not necessarily hacks on the content idea, but more on the foundational type stuff, right? So this might hurt a lot of people's feelings, but again, back to the root cause of why are you not doing content? So like, it's kind of like the same thing of, if you need to lose weight, do you really need to know what to eat? Is there really a secret diet? Or when you're eating that cheeseburger, are you just sad because you should be losing weight and eating a cheeseburger, right? Like that's kind of the consensus I get, is like, well, my video should be as good as, what's the color my credit girl, right? So we get into this like
Alyssa.
imposter syndrome, and I do this a lot too. I'm speaking to myself here, right? So we get all excited about doing something, right? And at the end of the day, we will get into it, and like, we'll do one video or one post, and it's the first one we've done, and we've been listening and consuming content, and we know we should be doing this thing. And it's just like going on your first day on a diet, and then you weigh the next day because you want to lose 10 pounds in one day, and it just doesn't work like that, right? So if you come out of the gate with this ego of like, I have to be as good as the color my credit girl who has, 500,000 followers, who's been doing this for 18 months on my first video, you're setting yourself up for failure, right? So like, don't, and you've heard this before, this is nothing new, like, don't compare yourself to other people. Literally, it's head down, and all you're trying to do is make your next piece of content better than the previous one. And don't compare it to somebody else. Don't compare it to the Real Estate Uncensored Nation, who's been doing podcasts on the hip for over, half a dozen years, right? You guys aren't going to be as good on live camera as we are, because we do it every single week for years, right? So it's just, you just have to make sure that you are keeping your ego in check and understanding that you are competing with yourself. You're not competing with somebody who has 500,000 subscribers. You're not competing with the influencer Gary Vee, who's got a $100 million business, or Ryan Serhant in New York, who's got a media team behind it, right? You're competing with yourself. So if you understand that you're only competing with yourself and you're just trying to be better tomorrow than you were today, it's a lot easier to think about the content of documenting your journey, because again, back to that ego, if you're not creating content, it's not that you don't know what to say. It's you have too big of an ego, and you might have been this goes for like new agents. I could see a new agent saying, I don't know what to say. I've never done a contract before. It's kind of weird. But the agent who woke up today and who's been in the business for 10, 15, 20 years and realizes I have to create content now to stay relevant, you know what to say. The problem is you are a 5, 10, 15, $20 million producer, and you have this ego of being this really successful realtor. And now you're starting on day one, video one on social media. And it really hurts you. And you immediately fear, you don't fear the consumer of what they're going to consume. You fear what your peers are going to say about you. And you got to get rid of that shit, right? It's not about that. It's about competing with yourself, running your own race.
Yeah, I agree with you 100% on that one, Nick. The one thing with me, and I'll be honest, I mean, we stepped up and we got all of our co-hosts are the same mic, so we have great audio. And no, you don't have to start out with great audio. You just have to start doing fucking something. Years ago, when I didn't know what the shit I was doing, I went and I did a video every single day. I'd read something inspirational and I'd barf it out on video. And I'm like, who's watching this? I'm like, I don't know who's watching this thing. But I'll tell you one thing. All of a sudden, I checked my Google ratings, and I owned the top 3 pages of Google in my local area for content. And I just kept pushing that content out there, and people started watching me. Then I reached out to all my local news agencies, and I was just like, I'm the shit. You guys got to hire me and put me on air. Nobody did. And the reason why is because I didn't bring value yet. And so what I learned through that experience is that you have to be value add to the consumer. So start putting out content that's going to be relevant to the folks that are in your area. And it can be the most mundane shit ever. It can be, hey, I'm on a walk. This is what I saw. Looks like there's a house coming on the market in this neighborhood. Or, hey, just ran across this strip mall, and there's a new business, and it's a, I don't know, pokey, place that's opening up. It's called blah blah blah. But I mean, it just bring relevancy to it. But make sure that people know you sell real estate. Hey, this is Greg McCarron with EXP Realty. This is where I am. This is what I'm doing. I'm in the neighborhoods. I'm here to help and serve. Thanks for watching my video, and keep going on and on. Pinterest is a phenomenal place to get a lot of that stuff. People love 3 things: puppies, kittens, and kitties, right? And if you can bring any 3 of those in, or all of them together, if you bring your dog, your cat, or your puppy into your videos and make them a part of it, your content's going to go viral. You use hashtags, really become that guy or gal that's going to be the informational ambassador to your neighborhoods. Gentlemen, I have about 9 minutes until I have to bail hard for a lunch meeting. Jake, give us some thoughts here.
Yeah. So Mr. Tony just went ahead and said the newsletter usually looks boring, right? But the information is valuable to somebody, and people would rather watch your video more than read it. Okay. So I want to, Greg, if you can share my screen, I want to go ahead and show you guys real world practical type stuff that's going on here right now. So this is inside of one of the Clever Leads accounts. This is Free Move USA, an email template. So I'm a big fan and believer in sending out the weekly email or / newsletter. However, when we're talking about video and how important it is, we're embedding, click here to register for a webinar, Free Move USA recent podcast. Here's another video, and here's 3 additional video resources. Okay, so I can see the open rates on all of these emails. I can go ahead and see all of the click-throughs, and I can see all of the video views. And if you are sending out that weekly email, it is so critically important to have some video shorts talking about who you are and that specific topic, and giving these people something that they want to consume because they would rather consume it via video. So if you guys are having hesitancy to start, at a minimum, you have to have some video resources that you can kick out that talks about your topic, and it gives a relationship between you and your prospective consumer, because they're hearing you and seeing you, and you don't even know who they might be yet. So, but it's so critically important, Tony, and that's a great share. And I just wanted to show you guys something real time, because now the old school newsletters, people don't want to read, but if they have resources to video content, they would rather consume it like that. So it's extremely effective and works well.
I have a little bit of a different take on that, Sergeant Wolf. And that is that I do think, especially in the older generations, I got to think too in our world, the real estate.
Are you calling Jake old?
No, not Jake. Most agents.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Are 57. That's the average. I mean, they're not old, but they're not. They haven't come up through video, right? Like some of this stuff is fairly new to them. I do think there's a subset of people that still like to read. I think the most important part of what he just showed us is that you give your viewers all the available tools they need so they can select the one that they prefer. Mm-hmm. So in other words, he sent out a newsletter with the information in there. And if I just wanted to read it because I was drinking my coffee and I'm sitting on my porch down the shore, I can read it because I might not be in a position to listen to the video. But also I might, if you're like me, I'm doing 6 things and I can't concentrate. So I'd just rather have the audio of the video playing in the background. So I might click that button. I also may not care for your newsletter, but I'm interested in following you on YouTube. That link needs to be in there. I want to see your website. Like on every single marketing piece that you have to have different lanes and avenues for people to take to get to the destination, which is you selling them who you are. So I think it's important that I don't want to, like Tony says, the newsletter is usually looks boring, but the info is valuable to somebody and would rather see you watch your video more than read. That's probably the rule rather than the exception, but you're eliminating the exceptions by doing only that. So that's kind of what I'm saying is give people the ability to, to pick and choose the lane they want to watch you in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it's picking your platform 100%. Okay, let's wrap this up really quickly. Each one of us, I want you guys to all give us one resource that you would go to. It has been your go-to for content creation for real estate agents, either new, young, old, white, black, yellow, purple, pink, doesn't matter. What? Everybody's got to have their different source, right? So what's one place, Nick, what's one place that you have gone to and still go to for content that you then put out to the universe?
Uber Suggest.
Love that site.
What the fuck is that?
We've talked about this on the show before. It's a good site. Explain it real hard. Give the elevator pitch.
So Neil Patel is one of the best SEO marketers in the world, right? He created this tool. There's analytics behind it. So like you could check people's websites, advertising, keyword searches, but there's also a section of it where you can search for questions that people ask based on keywords. So you can literally go into the search bar and say something like real estate in my town, and it'll spit out a page full of questions that people are searching for, which all those questions are a video that you could create with your answer.
That's free, isn't it, right?
Yeah. So
to a point, right?
There is a paid side to it. I think there's 5 or 10 searches a day if you have it for free. Answer the Public is another one. You could always get around it by going in an incognito window and refreshing, right? Because then it doesn't. Yeah. So
you just do an unethical hack.
It's a little bit more work. Or you could just pay the $10 a month if you're focused on content and you want to be a good content creator. Pay the $10 to Uber Suggest. Answer the Public's more money. That's more of an enterprise. That started off free, but it's definitely more expensive than Uber Suggest. So that has definitely been my go-to in the past probably 18 months.
Good tools.
Damn, that's some great advice right there, Jake. Where's someone that you go to get content for putting out to the public?
I too also am a fan of Uber Suggest. However, I do watch the news. So people do it for a profession. There's a lot of variations of things to your local marketplace. And I love curating newsworthy information in hyperlocal areas. So our virtual assistants do a lot of that already for agents. We have one of our teams out of Fort Worth. They just squat on the news, and they're working with the graphics team, and they come up with nice graphics and also some professional B-roll video just to kind of give the flashy video kind of a feel to the content. and then disseminate it out to all of the different social platforms. So what we've seen is, even if you're just talking or repurposing news onto your channels, you become part of the relay team, so to speak. And if people are tuned into you for that news content, instead of having to go out to their actual news sources in the local area, it becomes a valuable way to keep your brand in front of folks.
Love it. That is fantastic. I did not know about Uber Suggest. I am going to dive deep on that 100% today. Gene, what's your suggestion?
Craig, have you ever seen our show before?
Yeah.
No, never been on it.
I knew it was coming, Gino.
Greg, give us the 5-star, not the 2. So I was thinking of 2 things there. That the news is a big deal, right? Patch.com in your area is always a good thing to some pull out some news. I will say the one for me that I've used forever, and this takes a little bit of time to set up, but it's free. And we've talked about this probably years ago on the show, is feedly.com. So FEEDLY.com, right? And you can set up folders and do things on the side. But what it is it's a content aggregator that allows you to pull in all your favorite websites and sub websites, let's say, right? Like sublinks to different things in your area. So in mine, I could do like Westchester area news and anything out there. Over the next couple of weeks, I go out and search for good content in Westchester, and I can link those hyperlinks that link those websites and domains inside the folder. So what ends up happening is after like a month or two, and I start getting that content in there, I go right to that Feedly page, and all the latest news from all of those sites is right there in your face. And say it's like 60 articles based off of your folders. You can rattle through and go, yeah, I don't care about this one. Don't care. Oh, this might be a good one. You click it, look at the subtext, and then dig into the article if you want. Share some stuff from it with visuals or make a video out of it. But it's a really good place for you to be able to, like in mine, I have, sports, and I'll have my ESPN site, CBS Sports, Fox Sports, all that stuff. So if I want to see what's going on in sports real quick, I pull up Feedly, open that sports folder. Who got traded? Sean Payton retired yesterday. Oh my God. All these things. I have it there in a little snippet. So Feedly for me has always been a really good.
So that's FEEDLY.com. Yes. Is that accurate?
Correct.
Okay. That is some amazing content right there, ladies and gentlemen. If you guys want to create content, use these sites. Reach out to Nick, reach out to Jake, reach out to Gene. See where you guys can go and grow this stuff. Because look, it's an old, antiquated saying, but you can't raise a child just by yourself. You have to use a village. Well, you can't really build a business without having a village around you, because you need different people to do different things. Like I have these amazing gentlemen that are on the show with me, and we have Miss Ashley Chapman. She's going to be joining our show as well, talking about investments. So it's incredibly different, and everybody has a different voice. So learn how to speak to your folks. Guys, I got to jump. I am literally 2 minutes behind bingo on a lunch meeting for a client. Colors, gentlemen, Gene, color for the bow for the show.
Green, money green.
Green, I like it. Jake, color.
Green.
Yes.
Okay, we're doing double green today. Don't be
the odd guy out, Sakis.
Bandwagon boy, he's jumping.
Green.
Oh my God. Okay, we got a triple green show on the bow for the show today. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching and listening. We love you to pieces. We literally cannot do this without you. So thank you for sharing this. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We have a triple green bow on the show today. Even though Gene is turning his heart against his own colors when he has a orange bow behind him, which is hilarious. But thank you guys. Go out, give us not a 2-star, but a 5-star review on everywhere you guys watch and listen to our podcast. We love you. Thank you so much. Until next time, peace out, ninjas.